Hello and welcome to West Ham Updates TV. I'm Addy, and today I'm stepping in for Sam, who is off gallivanting around the world. And I've just heard he's just come off of an electric scooter and he's done himself a mischief. So, big shout out to Sam. Hopefully we'll have him back next week. I don't know what state he's in currently, but yeah, big shout out to Sam. But I'm here and I'm with the team. I'm with Gary, Mick, and even Mike has graced us with his presence today. And we're going to talk about West Ham being outside of the relegation zone for the first time since the 2nd of December after taming those Wolves on Friday night. So we're going to talk about the game and then what that win does for our survival hopes. We'll also talk about having the two best strikers in the Premier League in Pablo and Taty. Okay, maybe not the best, but are these two Hartson and Kitson Mark II, or are some of us getting a little bit carried away? One thing that we're not getting carried away with is that Dinos Mavropanos is prime Maldini at the moment, and he's playing like one of the best defenders in the Premier League.
He certainly is.
So we're going to have a conversation about our Greek god and how he's gone to zero to hero in a lot of people's eyes, not mine. I've always loved him. But now how he's really just one of the most important players in the side. And I think that leads on to a conversation around Hammer of the Year and who we think is our Hammer of the Year at the minute. I think we might have different opinions on that. So that'll be interesting to see. Before looking forward to a huge game on Monday night away at Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. So let's get into it. Chaps, how are you? And have you given any of your Spurs mates any stick this week?
Well, don't forget my old man supports Spurs, doesn't he?
Oh, fantastic.
So he's been getting it. He's been getting it, and a few of my mates have as well, because I've been saying to them for a while, you're getting dragged into it, and they're like, keep on looking up, gal, keep on looking up. And hats off to Mickey, he's been saying it for so long, but I saw a post a couple of days ago how I think they were like 13 points above us, and we've clawed it back, and now we're above them, and it's dreamland, isn't it?
It really is. And like when Mick was saying it, they were still like 9 points or whatever above us. So I just could never see it happening. But I mean, Mick, you said
I reckon he's a white witch or something.
Maybe he is.
Hope you got money on it, mate.
But and you should have, yeah. I'm just keeping my powder dry. I'm so sort of superstitious, and I don't like to jinx anything. So I'm just keeping my powder dry. They will get it when it's done. But at the moment, I'm just keeping a lid on it. So the Wolves game. I think most of us last week were saying like if we lost that, then we were down. So it was really a huge result and a really impressive win. I think it's our biggest win in 3 years, something like that. So, hats off to the lads. But what did you think of the overall performance? And was there anything to be worried about, to be, a bit concerned about? What did you think? Gal, what did you think?
I think at the first half, I was a bit worried, to be fair. I was messaging the boys on the chat group, and Wolves have had a really good sort of turn in form. And I know Sam disagrees, but they look like a really well-coached team at the moment. They were really solid in shape and stuff, and you probably saw that even more so being at the game. But I was worried, mate, and the fact that we invited that pressure on and we let them have so much possession was very worrying. But we managed to go in, arguably, and I think people can't deny it was probably against the run of play. We'd gone in 1-0 due to Mavropanos, and that was the big changing point for me. But second half, I thought we were fantastic. It's easy to say it's only Wolves, but again, they've come into a few points where people didn't expect them to get it just recently, and then coming off the back of that disappointment against Leeds, massive credit to the boys. But massive win for us. I was one of those that said we'd go down. So this, for me, like you just said, is sudden death for me. And I'm not getting too carried away because this is West Ham at the end of the day. And they will, I'm sure, end up back in the bottom three at some point over the next couple of weeks. They're not going to give it to us this easy. So well done for now, but not getting too carried away.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, let's see what happens. Mick, what do you reckon, mate? How did you think we played?
I'm the same. I was quite disappointed with the first 35, 40 minutes, if I'm being completely honest. And that did worry me. I'm not so worried defensively, because I do think we are a lot more solid defensively now. And I said it in the Leeds game, I've said it in a couple of games recently, my worry was always up front, going forward, if we're going to score enough goals. There's enough work rate there and stuff happening, but not too much of the end product. And I think the Traore miss highlights that massively. The end product of he's gone clean through and completely missed it. Do you know what I mean? But you know, fair play. You know, gone in half time 1-0, and then just completely took over. Well, we had the two goals straight after each other, and I think that's what really turned the tide for us, and we just looked really good going forward and defensively as the game went on. I was quite impressed with us defensively, if I'm being honest. Yeah, happy with it.
Yeah. I mean, I was like you. I was a bit disappointed with that first. I was quite worried at how poor we were, really. So yeah, getting the goal when we did was vital. But I went down. I normally go down to see Mike at halftime, and we had a little chat, and we were just saying, like, you know, although we've been poor, we've nicked a goal, and we do not care how we get 3 points. Like, you know, that was all that mattered. Mike, what did you think of the game, man? How did you find it?
Yeah, same. First, it's good to be back, guys. Thanks for introducing me by my name, Addy, not by Sam's nickname for me. The
Do Sam exhibit?
What was I going to say? First off, I've just felt like if we would have conceded a goal, the crowd would have turned on our backs. We would have started to crumble, and you know we would have started to panic, and it would have been quite a different prospect because Wolves didn't play Mane from the start. The kid who's done really well. So I felt like if he was playing, he actually didn't look that good when he come on, but you wouldn't do it 3-0 down. But yeah, got lucky in the first half, get the goal, and then second half, crowd were right behind us. I was really impressed with the crowd. I was a bit worried they'd be a bit flat after the cup defeat, but they really got behind the team, and you know what, we need that bit of luck, don't we, when you're down at the bottom.
Yeah, it just shows that just goals change games, doesn't it? Goals change games, and it is so important. I wanted to just have a little chat about Taty and Pablo. I think last week on the pod we gave them a bit of stick, and that was mainly because we were saying that we can't see enough goals in them. And to be fair, before the Wolves game, I think Taty had scored 2 in 11, and Pablo's still yet to score. But it's, you know, we can't deny the fact that since they've come to the club, I think we've got, let me see, I've written down something, 18 points in 11 games since they've arrived. Whereas before that, we'd got 14 points from 21. So they've definitely had an effect on the team. I do think Disasi's got a lot to do with us, you know, getting points as well. But those two have definitely had a positive effect on the team. Just interested to know what you think of them. Do you rate either of them? Do you think they work well as a pair? Yeah, just your thoughts on them two. Obviously, Taty's got two really good goals. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
Go on, Mike. You can go. So you want, mate?
Mike, go first, mate.
Yeah, I mean, them two, Jesus, I think they're the most West Ham strikers you'll ever meet.
Yeah, they are.
I once wrote a list of all the strikers Colton Cole has played with, and I sent it to him, and he laughed out loud. But these two, Taty looks like he can get a goal at least. Pablo, we all celebrated when he had a shot, so I think that tells you what you need to know about Pablo. But to be fair to the boy, they both really work hard. They both really try. At least Taty looks like he's got a goal in him. He's got a couple now. For us, Pablo doesn't look like he's going to do anything goal-wise, but I know he does try, hustle, hurried from the front. That's what you need. And you're thinking, surely that should have been Fulkrug, right? You've got a Champions League final striker in your squad, and he couldn't do it. So, they're all right. They're not the answer. Imagine if we had two good strikers. That's what I'd love to see.
Mm.
Do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I agree on that, and I was quite. I used the word scathing of them last week, because I just don't see much end product. I see everything else barring the end product, especially probably more so in Pablo, because for the size of him, he has actually got quite good feet. You know, he's quite technical, and I do see a player in him. I see a goal scorer more in Taty than I do in Pablo, but I do see probably a number 10 in Pablo. But them two together, it just, for some reason, it just works. In our team, it just works. And we've not had that in so long, where two players just combine so well together. I mean, I know we had Antonio and Bowen before, but they just seem to have clicked straight away. Do you know what I mean? As a pair, when they're separated and they're not playing with each other, I do see a lot of flaws. But when they're together, I do see a proper cohesive strike partnership, and that's I like it. I do like it. As much as I did say last week, there's no goals, but yeah, I can deal with the work rate from them. If Bowen can step up a bit more and get a few more goals, then obviously fantastic. But I do like the work rate from him, and the hunger to want to win and play for the shirt. I like that.
Yeah, agreed. What do you reckon, Gal? Do you like those two?
Yeah. Do you know what? If Lionel Messi had given Taty that assist, we'd have been seeing it all over the newspapers. It'd be up in Times Square and everything. Unbelievable assist. I mean, look, their job's to score goals, and Taty's got 4 now. Pablo's. I thought Pablo had 1, but maybe not. But yeah, they're not. I think long term they're not the answer, but they're certainly doing the job. And I think sometimes it's like you bring some professionals in who drive the standards in training. Well, I think those two are driving the standards in terms of running. So since they've come in and they've showed that never say die, chasing, lost balls, that type of thing, maybe it's rubbed off on everybody else, because it certainly coincides with our good run of form. So very effective at what they do. But if you're going to rely on both strikers to get goals every week, there's certainly no Cotty and McAvenny, are they? Do you know what I mean? So we'll have to see. But no, I'm really pleased we bought them, and I'm really pleased that they've turned out to have some, even if it's an indirect impact on form. Would I keep them? Yeah, I probably would keep them. To be fair, I think they'd be good squad players, but I think if we stay up, we need to be investing in proper strikers, don't we? 20 goals a season.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. I rate Taty. I do think he's very good technically. I don't know if it's me who's the only one who's seeing it, because not many other people are saying it. But I think he's really good technically. His link-up play reminds a little bit like Teddy Sheringham. Obviously, he's nowhere near as good as Teddy Sheringham was. But his link-up play, he's very good technically. Lacking a bit of pace, but he puts himself about, works. His attitude's first class. Bit of a shithouse as well, which we quite like. And I quite like him. I don't feel he's a number 9. I don't feel he's going to score enough goals. But he done well in the last game. That second goal was a massive deflection, but he's done well to reach for the first goal. He's really died to get there. He's done well. So I quite like Taty. Pablo's a weird one for me, because I actually think he done well on Friday as well. But I just can't understand. He's effective, and I like him, but I don't know why. It's one of them. And
I'm the same.
It just seems to work.
He's unorthodox, isn't he? A bit like Paolo One Shot was. Remember One Shot?
Yeah.
Bit unorthodox. But mind you, Paolo One Shot used to bang in some goals, didn't he?
Yeah, good feet as well, didn't he, One Shot? I don't know if Pablo's.
The thing is as well, but he's still only young, isn't he? He's only like 21.
Yeah. There's some games I see him and I think, like, he's got potential. You know, I do think he's got potential, but it's working. You can say something, Mike.
Yeah, I was going to say the only what I like about them two, we've signed these two strikers and they haven't got egos. Right, you bring in someone like Fulkrug, he's come with a big ego and you know, moaning about the standard and this and that, the mentality. These two have come in, they're happy to be here, and as they should be because they're bloody lucky to be here. But I feel like just coming in with that lack of ego and just coming in with the drive, and I feel like they really want to try it for us. Are they good enough? No, not at all. But hence why we like them, because they're triers. Typical West Ham striker.
True.
Tell us
I
what
think
you
that's
think,
really
Mike.
spot on. That I think that is proper spot on. That a great assessment on that, because I agree with that. They actually want to be.
Yeah. And I think you can see, like, in terms of that attitude and the no ego, I think it's spread across the whole team at the minute, the whole squad. I guess Paquetá was the last one with a huge ego, and he's gone. And this team looks as though they're playing for each other, no egos.
Yeah.
They're just hardworking, want to do well. I think Disasi's been a great addition. His attitude seems first class as well, and he wants to do well. And it seems to be, like I said, I don't want to jinx it, but it seems to be working, and they seem to be doing, playing well for each other, which is brilliant to see. It's been a long time coming this season, but it's good to see right now. And I guess one of those players who have, just improved this season is Mavropanos. What a man he is at the minute. I mean, I've always liked Mavropanos, and I've always been a bit of a fanboy of his. But I will be the first to say that, he always had a lapse of concentration or made a mistake that led to a goal. But he'd have a great game, but then do something stupid. And now he seems to cut out that stupidness. And recently, he's been nothing short of incredible, I feel, as a centre half. He's been absolutely faultless, and he's adding goals. He's been a real threat in the other box. What do you think this turnaround? What has caused this turnaround in Mavropanos? And what are your thoughts on him? And what are your thoughts on what do you think may have caused this turnaround? Mickey, do you want to go first on that?
Yeah, go on, mate. Yeah, I mean, we probably all said it. I know Mike wasn't there at the time, but we probably all said it at the beginning of the season or ran near Christmas time as well, that perhaps he would be one that we would quite happily see the back of, Mavropanos. But it coincides with January, the January window. As much as it wasn't a spectacular window, and like we all said, it wasn't a spectacular window. We was expecting more. But as what Michael said as well, though, that everyone that has come in just don't seem to have any egos. They all want to be there by the looks of things. They're all happy to be there. They're all happy to fight, get involved and make mates. Do you know what I mean? Make it look like that they're here for the long haul. And it's coincided with absolutely everything. I think we've got, form-wise, probably three of the better centre-halves in the league in form-wise, in Mavropanos, Todibo and Disasi. I think all three have been excellent since January. And yeah, I mean, I read today as well that they're looking to get him tied down to a new contract, Mavropanos, and I think it's fully deserved. I think he's been excellent.
Yeah, I totally agree. Gal, anything to add to that, mate?
Yeah, and I just think it's who he's playing alongside now. So as you mentioned before, he's playing alongside Disasi. I think Mavropanos and Kilman was like the blind leading the blind at one point, weren't it? So that was never going to work. But also Todibo's running form as well has worked wonders. So yeah, I think it's I think it's a lot of it's going to be down to who he's playing alongside and who he's being paired with ultimately. But he has been fantastic, and I've never ever been a huge fan. I didn't dislike him, but I was always a bit like, oh. But now he'd be my first name on a team sheet, and I'd go as far as to say next season he would be my captain.
Great shout. It's a good shout. He's definitely turned into a leader, isn't he? He's definitely leader type now. And I wouldn't have any qualms with it, to be honest, the way he's playing. Mike, any other difference of opinion on that?
No, good call about Disassi coming in. I think the last 2 seasons they've just rotated, haven't they? It's been Mavropanos and Kilman, or Tadibo, or a mix of the two from those three, and none of them were a leader. So you put Mavropanos next to Disassi, who looks like he wants to take control, looks like he wants to call the line, and you can see Mavropanos feels a lot more confident. Also, don't give him the ball still, because we still will call him Mavro can't pass. But it is lovely to see the turnaround. I'm very happy for him. And tell you what, something surprised me this week. If you look at fantasy football, I always have a look who got the highest scores in the week. Someone triple captain Mavropanos this weekend. So someone knew something that he was going to do. So I'm impressed with that. Whoever that was.
Yeah, someone a bigger fan than I am, obviously.
Oh, you put in the group, didn't you, Mike?
That's mental, isn't it? That's crazy. I was going to say, I mean, yeah, I definitely feel it's important who he's played alongside. And if you look back at the early this season, obviously there was Kilman, who's been, awful all season. And then at the start of the season, Tadibo was equally as awful. So I guess that wouldn't have helped him. But then, like we've said, since Disassi's come in, since Tadibo's, forms improved, and Mavropanos has improved as well. So I think there is something to be said about who he's playing alongside. But I also think Nuno probably deserves some credit because, all of them, him and Tadibo, maybe not Disassi so much because he come in later, but they've improved immensely since Nuno has come in. So he must have been doing something on the ground with them. Let's hope he can do. Go on.
Sorry, yeah. Just to thingy with that though. I think that Paco, the new coach has come in with him, has got a lot to say about that as well. He's a very I mean, Sam was saying it probably about a month or two ago that Fabregas was saying to Sam about Paco, how he's really well liked in Spain. He's really quite thought of in Spain, and we're quite lucky to have had him as an assistant when he's actually previously been managers at quite a few clubs. And I do see that, but since he's come in as well, that the whole team just looks a lot more structured. They look a lot more solid defensively and going forward as well. You can really notice a difference, and the two of them seem to work really well together, Nuno and Paco. They have their arguments, but I also think that's probably a really good thing to have happened.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Yeah, I forgot about that. I mean, since Paco's come in, our form has changed considerably, isn't it? So it has to, it can't be luck. There has to be a reason for it.
It's definitely him.
Yeah. So Mavropanos, playing out of his skin, I think could be in a shout, more than a shout for Hammer of the Year so far. I know we've still got a few games to go and that could change, but who would your Hammer of the Year be as it stands today? Mike, who do you think who you go for?
Do you know what? I'm comparing Disassi to the Lingard January transfer. Without the goals and the dancing, I'm very happy having Disassi there. Didn't think much of him before. Chelsea fans, our mutual friend Addy, was slating of him and said he's going to be useless. And I was surprised that the boy come in and really wanted to try. You thought maybe he's just coming in for the paycheck, easy transfer in London. But no, I think Disassi's been brilliant. I'm really happy with him. And aside from Mavropanos, if it's not Disassi, then I'm happy. I really like to have come in Premier League from the Czech League. I didn't expect him to be able to step up that quick. Definitely question marks about his defensiveness, but the way he gets forward, the way he puts balls in the box, if we had a proper striker to get on the end of those balls, I think we could get a couple more goals. And he won the African Nations as well. Technically he didn't, but I did see him lift the trophy. And he's going to the World Cup. Yeah, I would say between Diouf and Disassi for me.
He's definitely improved Diouf lately. I think his all-round games improved. Even his defending's improved lately, and he seems to be getting more balls into the box more recently too, doesn't he? So,
I love his engine.
Was that, mate?
I love his engine. He's just up and down, and he keeps going.
Yeah, I do like him. How about you, Gal? Who would you have for Hammer of the Year right now?
Do you know what? It's a really hard one because I think it's Hammer of the half season because no one turned up until mid-January, did they? Really?
Very true.
But I suppose you could have a few. I mean, for me, it's got to be Mavropanos. I don't really think there's any other contenders. I'll be very, very surprised if anyone other than Mavropanos gets it this year. Certainly with like our turn of form, his turn of form, 3 goals in 3 games. For me, I don't think anyone even comes close. So yeah, Mavropanos all day for me.
Nice. Mick?
It's a strange one because I think I think Hariola started to play well, sort of like late December, early January, and he kind of kept his form up until Mads Manson come back in, who then stepped up probably another level above what Ariola was, and I think he's been outstanding. Manson, I think we've got 2 good goalkeepers there. I'm not saying they should be Hammer of the Year, but I do think they should be in with a bit of a shout. But there's a couple now, as I say, Disarcy, like as Michael said, Mavropanos. I think Somerville's been excellent as well. There's another one there, but I don't think Bowen is probably in with a shout of it this year. I'll be honest with you, even though the goals and assists that have crept up from him, but I'd probably go with Mavropanos myself. And as Gary said, like half the Hammer of the Year or whatever you want to call it, because you can't go from how we was the beginning of the season to how we are now and say anyone from the beginning of the season deserves to be in with a shout of it. But this second half, I do think there's a couple that are in with it, in with a shout of it. But Mavropanos, I think for me.
Yeah, and I think Mavropanos was pretty. I mean, we were poor first half of the season, but I still think Mavropanos was our best defender, and he was okay for that first half, and he's just had a great second half. So he's definitely up there for me. Obviously, Somerville had that purple patch where that's all West Ham fans were thinking of was Somerville. He has had a good season, and I do feel Bowen does get overlooked. This is not one of his greatest seasons for West Ham. Actually, might even be one of his poorer seasons for West Ham. However, he has still got like 8 goals, 8 assists. I think that's 16 goal contributions. I think we scored 40 Premier League goals, and he's got 16 goal contributions. And he gives everything in every game, even if he's not, at his sharpest best. Because he sets such a high standard, and I just do think he does get overlooked. I think he should be in the conversation. And I was pretty pissed off last season actually that he didn't win it, and Wan-Bissaka did. So if he gets it through default this season, I wouldn't be upset about it at all. But yeah, Mavropanos, I think has been probably the most consistent out of all those guys. So yeah, one of them two for me. So looking forward to Monday. All of them are going to be absolutely huge games now, aren't they? How are we feeling? Looking at the team or thinking about the team, is there any changes that you think should be made? Does Wan-Bissaka come in against his old club, or are we, quite happy with how Walker Peters has been playing? I think he's been pretty well, to be fair. But yeah, any changes? What we thinking to that game in terms of tactically? Any thoughts? Gal, do you want to go first on this one?
I wouldn't change it from last week, to be honest. I'd keep it as it was when we played Wolves last Friday. This is one of the games I've got down as not getting anything, and if we do, it's a bonus.
Okay.
I think having seen a couple of highlight reels over the last couple of weeks, Mateta seems to be back in form now, so he's quite dangerous. So I'd normally say if Mavropanos wasn't turning it on, I'd probably say bring Tadibo back in to play with Disassi, but with Mavropanos chipping in with those goals, you can't drop him. And he's, like I say, he's potentially Hammer of the Year at the moment. So yeah, I think I wouldn't change a winning team. I'd leave it as it is, but they just need to stick 2 on Mateta, really, if he starts. I think he come on as a sub, didn't he, on the weekend? But Yeah, well, I'll come on to the predictions later, but it's going to be a challenging game, that one.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. And it's sometimes in the Premier League, it's just luck of the draw when you play teams, because they went through a bit of a sticky patch, didn't they? And you wouldn't
They
have
did.
minded playing them. But now
I
they've
thought they were going to be in the relegation battle, to be honest,
Yeah.
but they've sort of got 39 points now. I think they
Yeah,
got, or
that's
might
it.
be 42 now.
Probably a bit out of it now, haven't they? So they've got Mateta back scoring goals. Obviously, they brought Strand Larson as well, so they've got firepower. It's got to be a tough game, and I think quite a lot of West Ham feel we're going to win this game. And obviously, we play with a bit of momentum, but it is a tricky one. Mike, what do you think? Do you think keep the same team? Any changes for you?
Yeah, I was going to mention Carl Walker-Peters. I thought he did well the last few games. There was one moment where he tracked back and beat the striker. I forget who it was. And he run back and that was at the end of the game, and he showed a lot of fight, and I love his pace. But Wan-Bissaka, I think, is a better player, but you've got the winning team now. Wan-Bissaka was away, missed the game. Yeah, probably keep the same team. I see us getting something at Palace. We always do. We've had loads of wins there in the last few years. And I'm hoping to be there. You there, Ads?
I'm there, yeah. Are you got a ticket or no?
Not yet,
Not
but
yet.
not yet.
Mikey always finds a way of getting a ticket, so he will be there.
Do you want me to do the necessary, mate, and ask about for you? I'll normally get you one.
Yeah,
I'll
do
sort it out.
the honours, girl. Mick, any changes or any tactical tweaks for you?
No, I quite agree with Michael, and I was Carl Walker-Peters' critic throughout most of this
Was ya?
season, but I think the last two games, I think he's been really good. So, but I wouldn't change it. And again, going back to it, like we've got a very good record at Palace, a really good record. There was one player that always done really well there, and it's a shame he's not there no more. Is Lanzini. Lanzini always
he
managed
did.
to score there. Every time we played at Sellers Park, he would score. But yeah, I'm not going to say that we're going to. I think we'll get something out of it. I don't think we'll lose the game, and that's all important. Even if you nick a point, it's still massively important. Do you know what I mean? It really is, especially with us being the last game of the weekend, because obviously you could have Forest and Spurs playing before us. So I don't think we'll lose the game.
But I mean, it'd be interesting as well to see, like, after what the scores are in them other games, whether we sort of change the way we play. I say, if the other teams don't pick up points, would you be? I guess we've got to just go all out for the win. I guess, is it a time to gamble, or is it a time to say, well, actually, a point is really, really valuable here? I guess we've just got to go for the wins now, haven't we?
Yeah, really do. I feel we have to go for wins now. But I'll be happy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be against getting the draw, but yeah, we have got to really try and get as many wins as we possibly can now. And so it is, about winning for me.
Yeah. So let's finish up on predictions then for the game Monday. What do we think? You all know what I'm going to say.
Desmond.
Say the same score every week.
2-1.
No, do you know what? This week I'm more hoping it's 2-1. I think it'll be a score draw. I'm going to go for 1-1, I think, Monday. How about you guys?
I'm going 2-2. Yeah, I'm going 2-2. I in the back of my mind, I can't see us getting anything, but I'm not going to say we're going to lose. So I'm going to say 2-2, and I will be absolutely beyond myself if we can get a point there. It'd be fantastic.
Yeah, not to be sniffed at all. Mikey?
Do you know what? I'm good. I think there'll be goals in it. But the way we played at Fulham away, that night game that we were there at, I'm hoping for a 1-0 win. I can just see us just holding on, horrible 1-0 win, and just getting lucky somehow.
Be amazing because Palace is a pig to get home from. So I won't mind if we go home with a 1-0 win. I don't care how long it takes to get home. What do you think, Mick?
I said, you know what? My last lot of predictions has always been 3-1 West Ham, but it's a tough one because my head is telling me 1-1, but my heart is telling me 2-1 West Ham. So I think I might go with my heart on this one and say 2-1 West Ham.
Yeah, we love that. We love that. Well, let's hope it is 2-1, because I think we'll be very, very, very close to survival, especially if Spurs don't pick up any points at the weekend.
Yeah.
Chaps, thanks for today. Let's wish Sam well after his little accident. Don't know what
Well,
happened.
Sam, yeah.
Get well, Sam.
Get
Feel
well
better,
soon, mate. Hopefully we'll have him back hosting next week. But until then, be lucky and definitely come on, you Irons.
Come, you Irons.
Come on, boys. Cheers,
Cheers,
boys.
guys.